Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. So today's going to be part 3 of my holiday shopping finds. We're going to be looking at all castings that are in on cards that are in less than desirable condition, as well as also a little bit of a thrift store find, just a few cards that I managed to secure a few weeks back, and I never showed basically. So every single thing that's going to be packaged in this video is coming out of the package. So it's going to be a Free at Friday video as well as a part 3 for the holiday shopping. First one being that 36 count case, and after that we looked at the carded additions to my collection. So without further ado, we'll get started as usual with the thrift store stuff. So just a little bag, nothing huge, but a couple cool finds. First and foremost, managed to secure this Herpa 1/72nd scale first gen BMW X5. It's really not in the greatest of condition. Notably, the corner, as you can see, of the rear bumper on the driver's side is busted up. So it's kind of unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's kind of cool. You've got nice painted details throughout, true to stock wheel design, and these definitely do look like the 4.4 liter sport version wheels. You can still make out all the details that made up this casting. It's got a busted up windscreen. It really looks like either a car that was abandoned or a car that was literally stolen for a joyride. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's got rubber tires, very detailed base. Doesn't roll very well, unfortunately. It still rolls, despite it being pretty beat up. So, and the color's pretty interesting too, kind of like a light greenish gray. So, yeah, I thought it was a cool little addition or cool little find to add to the collection. So, place this one here. And next up, staying in the German SUVs, I did manage to pick up this real toy first gen Porsche Cayenne. Definitely the real toy wheels of this nature are not super nice. There's a big tow hitch on the back. Yeah, and this is a Cayenne Turbo, as we can see on the badging above that license plate / base tab. Nice clear windows, pretty heavy vehicle, and it's detailed throughout. So 4 passes on this one, side, rear, and front. No top details, but none needed. There's no sunroof, which is kind of weird, and especially for a turbo model, because that should have a sunroof standard. It's got a nice gloss blue, almost like a Smurf blue, and nice gray interior, very well molded. So it's the kind of thing that literally remove the tow hook, add just maybe a dash of silver for the exhaust here, and change those wheels, and you've got a very, very nice model, very nice weighty model. And here's your base. 1/61st scale, as we can see. So there you go, another German SUV right there. Let's see, what else here do I have? Yeah, let's stay in the a little bit more oddball stuff. Picked up a couple vintage cars. I managed to find this Welly C2 split window 63 Corvette Coupe. Wheels are instantly recognizable, very similar to the Tomica Sport wheels, but these ones are kind of like a Mach 5-spoke as opposed to a 4-spoke on the Tomicas. And obviously this is no way as sturdy or anything like that, and this one's got a little bit of an issue with the glass, which is pushed below that little tab right off the cowl where that should be actually sitting on. I mean, it doesn't look to have been disturbed or drilled, but at the end of the day, base is not as snug as it should be. You've got a little bit of lateral movement from the rear. Front's pretty solidly in place though, since it's riveted there. All in all, paint's pretty good condition. Couple flea bites here and there, but nothing too crazy. Just the edges and corners as you would expect. And I mean, this is probably a 25 to 30-year-old car, so I mean, I wouldn't expect it from a grab bag to be mint in any way, shape, or form. And if it is, well, that's great. Speaking of oddities, we've got this Yacht Ming knockoff Ford Fairmount airport security car. Gray base, again yellow paint. The edges of the emergency lights are a little bit worn out. Got number 88 on the roof. Looks more like, I thought it was a taxi at first glance, but yeah, seemingly it's not. But it's cool. I like it. It's one of those Malaise era cars, where Americans were trying to downsize their vehicles and mixed results. But yeah, it's definitely a cast I didn't have. So happy to add that to the collection. Next we have, I did pick up a couple Matchbox cars. I managed to pick up this well-loved and well-played with 72 Chevelle convertible. It's in decent shape, rolls pretty well, and it's a nice spec with that lime green, black go faster stripes, black interior. I do have this cast in gray with a red interior. That was a multi-pack exclusive. It's cool to have another one that's kind of like beaten up and battered a little bit. You got the round lights instead of having the rectangles or the square stacked lights from the 70. Single front lights instead of the double lights on the 70 as well. That's how you tell the difference between a 70 and 71, 72 Chevelle. So that's a pretty cool one. Speaking of drop tops, also I picked up this New Edge Mustang. Yeah, and that Maisto that I showed off in the last video, I said it was a S197. It is actually a New Edge, so we got a convertible, 2 New Edges in this haul. Well, the one from the last video plus this one. So this one, the windscreen is not in the best conditions, as you can see. Paint on the car overall, but was pretty decent. You got a few dirty spots here. Corner and lip of the wing here is a little bit, just a little bit worn, as you can see. A couple flea bites. I like these Matchbox wheels with the black raised lettering, as you can see. I like mesh design wheels. Very, very Tyco era graphics, although at this point I think they were back with Mattel and trying to find their way again. Talking about the Matchbox ownership. But nice cast details. Well proportioned. I find it looks great. Obviously the purple interior, not for everyone, but surprisingly good steering wheel, as you can see. And I mean, I'm pretty sure if you touch the dashboard on this, it feels pretty much like a 99 Mustang from factory, if we're talking about quality of the materials. So I do love Mustangs. No offense to Mustang owners, I love Mustangs. So there we go. And last Matchbox I picked up, and kind of a big one. Got this little Chevy minibus based on the Chevy cargo van, as you can tell from the front end. You've got, instead of having the twin lights there that are the same size, you've got the base model with the generic square and turn signal below, or the but yeah, it's pretty it's a pretty you know, you recognize that front fascia basically. You know, the GMC Savannah also has a similar front. Yeah, you got a mirror on this side, not on that side, because you got the doors obviously that open. Normally you would have a extended mirror somewhere, but obviously that would not last very long, the packaging. So this is the worst of the wear if we're talking about the paint. I mean, this is all metal. This whole thing is metal, basically. The only thing that's not metal is obviously, well, the base, the wheels, and the door here. Or is it? No, that's metal as well. Yeah, no, so really the base front fascia wheels and the windows, obviously, that are all plastic. The rest is metal, so really, really heavy. Mustang that we checked out did have a 99 copyright. This one actually has a 98 copyright. And we can see also the transition of the Matchbox logo from 98 to 99, where here it's still the old characters from the 80s. Then it went to that little, inside that little circle, basically. And these actually, interestingly enough, have scales. So the Mustang is a 1/61st scale. As you can see, just above that that rivet. Well, or an attempt to see, but 1/61st scale. So same scale as that real toy Cayenne. And this is, as you can see here, 1/80th scale. So not quite HO, just slightly larger than HO scale. It's pretty interesting though. Is you know, Matchbox and Hot Wheels haven't been putting scales on their cars in forever. Hot Wheels pretty much never did, but except if it's like some true 1/64 or 1/43 or something like that scale. We'll finish off with some Hot Wheels that I managed to pick up. Also part of that haul. So this casting here, I did have a version of it, but it was really battered and I kind of got rid of it. Happy to stumble upon this one. It's in okay condition, you know, played with, and it's an older 90s release, maybe early 2000s. It's a King Cuda, but the drop top version. So it's kind of like the second iteration of the King Cuda. We did see an example of King Cuda in that Zamac car set that I showed you on the last video, on the part 2 of this holiday shopping series of videos. So got the good old Frisbee as a steering wheel, very bright orange. It's kind of funny because the Hemi air intake here is orange, whereas it should be black, and the Hemi block is orange normally. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of reverse color. Some groovy graphics on the side. Not sure which series this is out of. You know, it's almost like little ghosts there that are kind of like having fun flying around the Hot Wheels logo on the door. This is seems to be a 70, because this is definitely a 70 grill on the Cuda. And you got the stacked lights in the back, which were replaced in the later years of the 70s with the round lights. So this is probably a 1970, I'm gonna guess. It's just listed as King Cuda under the base, so it's kind of hard to tell. Another one that I'm happy to pick up is this really cool 80s Corvette. So this is after the opening hood was gotten rid of, but before we went to a metal plastic setup, as this has a metal base. You can see the 80. It's written 1980 Corvette. Obviously, this is 1980s Corvette because the 80 Corvette was still the C3, whereas this is clearly the C4. It's got an 82 copyright and then a 2012 copyright, which is when they got rid of the opening hood. Yeah, as you can see, no scale on this one, but cool metal on metal. You got the Y. This is the Y5s, or I don't know what these are called. Either way, they're good looking wheels. Fortunately, the axle on this one seems to be a little bit warped or out of place because the wheels are really rubbing in the wheel arches on the front. Paint is pretty decent. You know, you can see a pretty visible chip here on the tampo work, but the paint's all there. It's really just the tampos that have taken a little bit of a beating over the years, although not that much. And obviously you got that roof there that's kind of scuffed, and still got that suitcase in the back there, which has been around since the 80s, since early 80s when this thing came out. This casting was actually released before the true 1-to-1 scale model C4 was actually made available to the public. So it's pretty cool. I definitely like this cast, and I love it in purple. Stripes look good. And hey, they're still producing this one. This was released in gold in 2023, I believe, with white stripes. And still pretty much the same casting, although they renamed it again because, you know, they had to change it from metal on metal to metal on metal to metal on plastic. So now we're going to just make a tiny bit of room here for next find I'm going to show you. In this one, I'm really happy to pick up my second version of the Chevy SS or Opala SS, a Brazilian market muscle car. Well, you know, it wasn't that muscly, but still, you know, it was one of those muscle cars from the era that you know, has become legendary. So it's got the Mr. Gasket livery, the bunch of other sponsors. You can see the SS 4100. It has a 4.1 liter 6-cylinder. This one, the chrome is actually in way better condition than the green and yellow one that I managed to pick up. Here's your base, 2011 copyright. And yeah, Chevrolet SS. So very cool. It's kind of a hodgepodge of old 60s compact Chevy and some European bits too added onto it, and built locally in Brazil for the Brazilian market. So there you go. Good looking fastback design. You got again the Mr. Gasket logo on the trunk. A couple of yellow stripes on the side and on the hood. So very happy. Nice burgundy red. And my pick of the lot for the thrift store finds is going to be this really nice BMW E30 M3 in gray. Pretty much mint condition. No missing paint. Tampos are all complete. Nice M-coat. Well, no. There's a tiny little nick here, but I mean, you could get this kind of nick fresh out of the package. So you've got the gold lace wheels. You've got the profiled DTM style mirrors. Very nice cast details on this one, and not too offensive to not have tampos on a silver car like this, because the metallic and the silver does give it a little bit more depth. A BMW logo is on the hood, reverse opening hood actually, reverse hinge hood. And back casting details are pretty good as well. No logo there. Got that twin exhaust for the S14 4-cylinder. And here's your base. I'm not sure actually out of which series this is. I don't know if it's that BMW series with all the dark black cards. I don't know. 2011 copyright on this one as well. So this one is definitely a very good one. Very happy to add this to the collection. It's my second mainline E30 M3 from Hot Wheels, I think, with the Polizei liveried one that came out 3-4 years ago. Now we are going to be jumping into carded Hot Wheels, just to add to this lineup basically. So first one we're going to be cracking open. Card's actually in great condition on this one, but it's a color variation. Really want to get one of these loose. This new Cafe Racer style Honda CB750. Really wanted to take a closer look at these new bike wheels, which in my opinion look phenomenal. So let's get this thing cracked. This is the second color wave after the original blue release of this, and there's a third one that's already maybe available in your area. If it's not, it should be shortly. So here's your bike. A good looking piece, mostly metal. Yeah, the wheels look good. They really do look like if these tires were plastic, were rubber. They are plastic. You've got the stand as well. That's something as well I wanted to test out. Yeah, this actually, yeah, yeah, holds itself quite nicely. That's really good. I'm happy about that. Oh no, let's put it next to the Herpa. So this, I did double check here on the sizing of this bike, and actually I'll show you. I had the, I was watching live on the on one of the diecast breakdown shows, and Chuck was talking about these bikes being a larger scale and whatnot, and I really think that we're looking at about 1/32nd scale. I'll show you why. So this is my favorite 1/32nd scale bike that I have in the collection. It's an old Indian motorcycle from the glory days, the straight up post World War II style bike. And if I look at the size of this versus the Honda Cafe Racer, I mean, it's pretty similar. Maybe a little bit smaller for the Cafe Racer, but it's not the same style of bike either, you know? I mean, I think that's pretty much the closest I could get if we're talking about the comparative size. So maybe this would be like more 1/36th scale. This one being 1/32nd, something of in that realm, at least pretty close. Not exactly the same, but still, I find that's pretty cool. So put these bikes aside, and we'll get back into some cars. Actually, we're gonna look at a couple trucks. So finally found the color variation I was looking for the Mighty K, and this is the one that I really wanted to get my hands on to open, because I find the livery is really, really cool. Aero discs are a good choice of wheels. The rear's done, sides are done, front are lens, and you've got a chrome insert from the chrome base for that intercooler. And I thought this was the one that looked a lot more like the pullback version that I picked up not too long ago, and that I showcased individually. Along with a little bit of backstory. So this one we're gonna get open right away. See what it looks like outside the package. Yeah, there we go. First Mighty K loose. Really like the lensed fronts. Very cool. It looks like it's part of that dark graphite colored lower cladding, but it's really part of the glass portion. Still got that skateboard in the back, that spare wheel, which is actually the 5-spoke from the first two or three colorways, should I say, the white, pink, and then red in that succession. So I find this blue-gray color suits very well, and the graphics are very groovy. They kind of look TRD-esque a little bit. Yeah, as I said, aero disc in gold works very good, and it's cast that it looks good. It feels weighty for its size, so I'm definitely happy to get one of these out of the package and free. Love the stance on this too. I love the fact that the rear looks like kind of normal height, maybe slightly lowered, but the front, because of the big fender flares, looks really, really dumb. Now this next one, I actually wanted to pick up to keep carded, because I already have a loose colorway of this casting. But then basically I got home with this beautiful, beautiful Land Rover Defender 90 in that dark gray color, and noticed the bubble cracked on my way home. So, well, no choice. We'll have a second one loose. This is my favorite version of the Defender. I do prefer the short wheelbase to the long wheelbase versions. And this, I really, really like the colorway of this one. Very metallic charcoal paint with the Land Rover logo on the doors. Land Rover badge on the lip of the hood. You've got the 90 on the hood scoop. The Defender right there. Little Hot Wheels logo. No front and rear tampos, which is pretty much the norm for this guy. unless they do like a factory fresh thing, but I mean, it's still very cool. I also like the old style sunroof that kind of looks like those sunroofs from the 90s that you could actually pop out in addition to pop open. So I find that's pretty cool. I like also the fact they did the side markers, which is a nice touch. And they actually took the time to black out the door handle and the little surround for this vent as well. So actually not the surround for the vent. That was just an optical illusion. Either way, very cool casting. I do like this casting a lot, and this is definitely my favorite colorway that I add to the collection. Out of the 3 I've had and the 2 that remain in the collection. Next is going to be a nice little Jeep FC 57. So forward cab, I believe that stands for the FC. So it's a cab over engine design, little pickup bed, some accessories in there. It's kind of like an American old school version of the Mighty K in a larger scale, you know. It's pretty cool. So let's check it out more in detail. This is a cast that Matchbox also released in their moving parts. Now Hot Wheels is doing one without moving parts, and I'm kind of happy because this one looks really good. You know, you've got some Jeep publicity on the side here. You've got the tampos done in the front, which is excellent. Thank you for that, Hot Wheels. Yeah, door handles are done. You got some extra badging. Got the spare and blown V8, I guess, in the back. So it's no longer a cab over engine, I guess. And yeah, not sure if it retains the all-wheel drive system because that's not very clear from what we can see under. Got a big skid plate, bash bar on the front, bunch of fog lights on the roof. They took the time to put a little bit black there. That's pretty cool. Yep, and you got a little clear insert part of the glass portion. Very good looking cast. Just missing some rear lights. A couple of dabs of chrome here and there, but all in all, great stuff. And I love these beadlock off-road wheels. They look great, just like these 5-spokes do as well. Last truck we're going to be opening. I'm actually just going to do a little bit of a transition there. Make sure that we have room for this last one because this one is a big one in size. So the custom F-150 Lightning. Yeah, it's one of those casts. I find it kind of is like a mix of the Mustang Mach-E, the RTR crazy quadruple digit horsepower version that Hot Wheels does. I mean, if there was a pickup version of it, this would be it. I'm pretty sure. I like the fact that it's Ford liveried. So, you know, it just reinforced the fact that despite its custom, it definitely is licensed. So, and I mean, all these cards, just give you an example. These are all cards from like dump bins that were ravaged and gone through. So this is the average condition of these cards. You know, bent, cracked bubble on the bottom here. You know, these are really just destroyed. So again, you know, helping out your local stores that carry diecast, the stuff that's not perfect. Get it off their hands, rip it open, and that way it makes more room for new stock. So this is a cast I was really interested in getting. I'm very happy about this. Cool insert on the front for that black chrome grille. You've got the intruded lights that are part of the glass portion, big air scoop, and also a heat extractor on the front. The lower body cladding is really good. That arrow is awesome. Plexiglass looking glass cover for that X brace in the box. This is a crew cab, although yeah, they actually do still have the seats. The interior is in black chrome. It lends itself to the grille as well as the rear fascia that is also surrounded by clear portion that's from the glass. You've got a definitely a kind of like a top speed looking thing, maybe Bonneville type of thing, but yeah, big staggered aero discs as well. It works on this. Very cool truck, very cool custom truck. I definitely like that. So I can put that there. We're gonna open the last Hot Wheels here, and we're actually gonna do a comparo. Last one I picked up is the latest iteration of the classic Nomad, which is a casting that came out in 1969. So you know it's part of Hot Wheels heritage. And I actually wanted to open this new version because the card is, as you can see, in atrocious condition. You know, soft corners. Bubble's not cracked or anything, but it's just, you know, the card's awful, so not worth keeping in there. Yep, that looks great. And what I have here also is an older version of this cast, not the original red line one from '69, obviously, because those are worth their weight in money. But I do have an older version that we can compare it to, and this I believe is from maybe the 90s. It's got all the bright work, no front tampos, but it does have the rear, so 3 passes on this one. It's not in the best of conditions, but I was kind of intrigued to see the differences. So first difference I see on the hood. There's seems to be a vented portion of the hood with some cowling on the newer version as opposed to the other one that's very stock looking. You'll also notice that if you look at the sunroofs, this one is much bigger than the one from 25 years prior, at least. So obviously cutting costs, you know, lowering the amount of metal and upping the amount of plastic. So here's a comparison in the rear. No tampos on the new one, tampos on the old one. Bumper is definitely different as well. It's much more defined in corners on the new one versus a more rounded look on the older casting. Different grille as well. Again, this is more a more custom grille than this one, which is kind of funny because the rest of the car seems to be more custom on this one. But yeah, we've got a tauter grille, and the lower front lights, turn signals, are actually part of the metal cast, whereas they're part of the base on this one. So a few differences. Side pipes are the same. Profile pretty much looks the same. I think that the pillars kind of look thicker on the old one versus the new one. We're talking about the B and C pillars, but besides that, I mean, it's pretty much the same from the side. So that's pretty cool comparo. There we go. Next up, we'll open a couple Matchbox because this video is definitely starting to be up there in time. So we'll do this as quick as possible. These are all cards that are pretty clean, but they're color waves that are duplicates that I really wanted to get loose. So I did pick up the first version of this, only found one wheel variation on the Steelies, and now I've got the second colorway of the 70 Ranchero in this really nice blue, looks like a Baltic blue almost, with the tri-spokes. So a little bit more of a sportier look as opposed to your plain Jane stock looking version. And this has a great stance to it as well. It's one of those castings that is right in the realm of what Matchbox does best. So here's your Ranchero. Really well done rear end. It's got the dual exhaust. Well done sides as well. And the front's all chrome since we're talking about a chrome base 2022 license. This did come out in the first color variation in the one of the early waves this year in that light olive green. Definitely a nice one. Definitely a nice one. It's a cool ute. Second one we're going to open Matchbox wise is a recolor of the Mazda CX-5, and I actually just picked this up because I love the color. I have the original release. It's either in burgundy red or black, I don't remember. And it's got the chrome 5 spokes as opposed to this that has a black 5 spokes and this really cool bronze metallic color. Yeah, let's get it open because I really want to see what this color looks like outside the packaging, because it's kind of hard to tell its depth. Oh, this one's not cooperating. It does not want to open. Let's wow, this thing really doesn't want to get out of here. Does not want to be liberated at all. All right, there we go. I already had to wrestle that out a little bit here. So yeah, your little mid-sized Japanese SUV. Although in its category at the time, sorry about that, there's a little bit of some type of hair on there. Yeah, these are pretty much do have the best suspension calibration in their category and the best steering feel as well. That's what Mazda does best, basically. So well tempoed in the front and in the back. No sides, which it doesn't really need. Sunroof. Yeah, just your basic commuter car, but it looks good, you know? It looks good. So, yeah, the second to last Matchbox we're going to be opening. Finally found the red color variation of this 3000 GT Mitsubishi. It's the facelift version with the fixed headlights as opposed to pop-up lights of the first iteration, the pre-facelift one. And yeah, I really wanted to get one of these loose so as to compare it to the first 3000 GT cast that I acquired. Let's start with the Matchbox. Yeah, and I do have the first release of this in black, but I really wanted to get the red one loose, simply so we can compare it to the Mitsubishi GTO, the JDM version, and the pre-facelift version, and this is Atomica Premium. So, size-wise is the first thing I wanted to look at. They are extremely similar in size, overall length, overall width. Definitely a little bit of a touch more detail on the Atomica version, but I mean, this is Atomica Premium, so you can pretty much pick up, what, 4 of these for the price of one of these when on release. Obviously, these are not really much more valued on the secondary market, whereas this one specifically has been discontinued for a while, and these tend to be sold for around $7 or $8 US at time of release, and could go up to 12, 13 depending on the seller. But once they're discontinued, though, I mean, they go up in price, and one of these, it's going to be hard to find one for under 20 bucks shipped, that's for sure. So double what they were when this was released a couple years back. I'll show you the base of this one, and this one sees a 1/63rd scale, 2016 copyright. So I probably picked this up in 2018, I'm assuming 2017 or 2018. Matchbox version itself has no scale, but definitely looks very close to 1/64th. You know, 2021 copyright on this one. Yeah. There's your comparo there, 3000 GT. And we will finish off by opening probably one of the last representatives to ever have this horrible packaging, the 2020 Chevy Tahoe moving parts, because it has an opening hood, and I love my opening hoods. I'm not gonna take too much time on this one. I'm gonna just crack it open because I really find this packaging unappealing. Yep. So here's your little colored insert right here. That'll go to the recycling. And the little clamshell with the big Tahoe. Ooh, this thing is weighty. Very weighty. Love that. Love that. Nice details under the hood. Probably a 5.3 or 6 liter V8. Shut lines are really good. Good stuff. Oh, there's a tiny little imperfection here. Did this come off? Nope, guess not. Alright, we have, unfortunately, a little spot here that I might try and remove, but overall the rest is great. Front rear tampos as usual, plastic wheels, those 6-spoke off-road wheels, which work well on a mundane vehicle like this. Got the big panoramic sunroof, dual sunroof. Badging is all there. Well detailed. Closed window model. Black interior. 3 rows of seats. And the Tahoe is a shorter wheelbase version of the Suburban. So, looks good. This is the only iteration that I have of this generation Tahoe, Suburban, or even pickup, Chevy pickup, or GMC pickup. So, very happy to pick this one up. You know, it's going to look great. I already know where it's going in the collection, so this is going to look great with the rest of my moving parts that I have loose. So I have a few, you know, in that bad packaging that we just checked out. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have. So again, lengthy video. Hopefully, if you lasted all the way through, thank you. And you know, hopefully you like the checking out these finds, cracking some of them open with me, and you know, a couple little quick comparisons with the other brands. And yeah, if you did, I invite you to hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to be updated on future uploads on my behalf, and of course, comment your feedback. On that, I will let you go. I'll see you on the next one, and yeah, stay safe out there. Hopefully you find everything you're hunting for. Take care. Bye-bye.